Most people choose where to stay in Bali based on where the best restaurants, the best clubs, the best gyms, the best insert whatever your fancy is here. But I based it on my intuition and my energy. And today I'm taking you through my comparisons between Ubud and Canggu that I made well over a year ago now when I first arrived in Bali. Now, I'm not here to start any kind of war, and I am most certainly not judging anybody who chooses to live anywhere in Bali, even, of course, the places that I did not consider because it did not feel right for me to live in Uluwatu or Sanur or even further east in Ahmed or any of the other major islands. Today it is genuinely, I'm taking you through the process of the Canggu and Ubud considerations. So sit tight. So this vlog is not like any other one, I think, that has been done on the Canggu versus Ubud debate. I am really talking not about what's here, what great cafes, what great yoga places, what great amenities there are, or places to live, or anything like that. I'm doing this purely from a listening to my gut and going where I'm feeling called, and what I ended up using in terms of criteria for where I've ended up, Ubud or Canggu, where I've ended up, and in the hope that it will help you to do something similar for yourself if you are considering it for whether it's moving to Bali, living in Bali, or just coming for a visit, what you really feel like you may need. I hope that this is useful for you in that. Okay, Ubud people, don't come for me just because I'm filming from a very touristy spot. A friend of mine really wanted to go, so we're here at the Sacred Monkey Forest. And I'm trying to not get accosted by any monkeys. Ubud is the center of where the four sacred mountains and volcanoes of Bali come into connection. The waters, you can see, the waters are extremely sacred here, and I often come to Ubud to see my amazing Balinese priest and have a melakat, which is a water cleansing ceremony. And this is super, super powerful. But it's also something that I would caution against placing yourself in constantly. When you live in a place that has a lot of energetic intensity and flow through it, the tendency can be to pathologize healing or to make healing part of your identity, because that is what these spaces are for. They are here to bring up your lessons. They're here to show you and help you to move through things. And so living long term in a place like this, you've got to be willing to endure that and to either make sure that you are watching, that you don't get too sucked in by it, or doing some kind of work that isn't so much in the floaty healing space, but is actually very directional, which means that the land and the energy is actually supporting you to really balance. But if you are doing things like I'm doing, which is in the energetic space, which can be a lot very, very floaty, very flowy, there can be a tendency to get a little bit lost. And there is no judgment here, please, on anyone who has chosen to make this their home. But for me personally, a key aspect of choosing to not live in Ubud longer term was this very intense, beautiful energy that I love to dip into occasionally, but that I would prefer to not constantly live in. I arrived, I just chose to spend time in different parts of all of those areas. So different parts of Ubud, different parts of Canggu, so Pereranan, Sase, Canggu itself. That whole area near the coast is kind of referred to as Canggu. Trying to just not get done by the monkeys here. And so yeah, I spent a long period of time in Ubud, really feeling out whether or not this was the place for me. Spirituality space. Ubud does seem like the natural place, right, to put myself amongst my people. And while I really felt like there were a lot of amazing people in the area, the energy, oh boy, oh, the energy of Ubud, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, but it is very washing machine-y. It's a very technical term. So yeah, that was really, really evident for me after a few times of staying in Ubud, was that was a pretty crucial consideration of mine. And it wouldn't be a Bali vlog if we didn't talk about traffic. Ubud has a lot of it, but you know, we get around that by mounting the curb, as we do a lot in Canggu as well. Really, you're going to encounter a lot of traffic in both places. So, now you know. I followed my intuition and tuned into the energy of Canggu, and this has been my home for the last just over a year. A year this week is when I moved into this very place that I'm sitting in right now. You may be able to hear there is construction next door, and frankly, you're probably not going to escape that pretty much anywhere in Bali. But where I live is in a very generally quiet area of Canggu, and it's to the north. It's in amongst rice paddy fields, and I live right next to a farmer. I can see Mount Agung from my veranda and the other mountain ranges. It is a very peaceful place to live whilst still being very close and connected to all of the things I enjoy doing, playing paddle, going to the beach, catching up with friends. I go to my favorite co-working space in Pereranan, which is very close by. It's about a 10-minute drive. And I feel like I get that very beautiful balance of inner peace and quiet and walkable roads and nature, as well as the convenience of being very close to a lot of my favorite things and a lot of beautiful community that's based here. Very grounded. I'm surrounded by visionaries. I'm surrounded by people who are real go-getters, who really also care for their contribution and adding value to the world and caring for each other. So my experience of Canggu has been really beautiful, supportive. It's helped me elevate my business. It's helped me elevate my perspective, my expectations for life, and really treated me in the most genuinely beautiful way. And it's funny, I get really quite almost like protective over Canggu and a little bit defensive when I see the very popular pile-on tendencies that people take with this place online, because it's very popular, it's very clickable and viral, and you know, people love to hate on people in Canggu. There is a stereotype of, you know, so the gym bro or the finance bro or the chick with all of the, you know, filler and the plastic surgery and everything. And like, really, when you look at it, don't we have the same in most cities and suburbs in and around the world? There's stereotypes of everywhere. And Canggu has this particular one. And I feel like it's just really missing the point, and it's really quite shallow. And look, don't get me wrong, I can get frustrated with the occasional over the top influencer that's like, sort of doing their thing and not really living in the moment and living in presence, and just really capturing things for the gram or TikTok or whatever it is. And that, like, it's a bit frustrating. But like, look, people in glass houses, I film and I take B-roll around the place. So, like, I can't really judge, because this is also part of my own work. But, for the most part, I'm surrounded by really amazing people and have super inspiring events to go to. There are really great, beautiful communities to tap into. I'm a member of a local community garden, and that has stunning, quiet space to go and do some work at, and to eat beautiful organic food and regenerate the earth. And I love to spend time in very soulful spaces and places, of which there are plenty in the area of Canggu and surrounds. And it is really not just about the partying and about the sort of stereotypical parts of it that you might hear online. It genuinely has such beautiful soul, and the land itself, it feels super magical to me as well. Just as many other parts of Bali feel magical for other people, it feels very magical to me. And whenever I drive underneath the signs of Desa Canggu, which is, Desa means village in Balinese, and the Desa Canggu signs, I just feel so good coming in, and I feel so good landing in the space. It really is and has been so supportive for me for this last year. And yeah, I really hope that this has helped you to understand that there are other ways to make decisions for yourself when it comes to where to base yourself, and where to stay longer term. And obviously there's also the ethics of staying in Bali, and I've done another video on this topic about what people don't tell you about Bali, so go and have a look on my YouTube for that video, because I do provide quite a bit of context of even like how I arrived here, how I made the decisions to even stay. Because there are a lot of problematic aspects to foreigners being in Bali, and it's well worth considering and well worth just making sure you're just being a good human about this. And for me, being in Bali feels so much more beyond the surface level. It feels like the energetics is just calling me here, and I will listen to Bali. And I'm still living very much in relationship with the land, with the space, and following the clues and the signs as to what's next and where to, and extending stays and that kind of thing, and making longer term plans, but still, being very much in relationship with the land. For me, living in Bali goes so far beyond the so-called lifestyle benefits, and really comes down to the nourishing, nurturing aspect of the energy of the land here that I feel so resonant with and so supported by, and which helps me to do my work more effectively in the world. And that for me is my primary driver, and is my primary value, is how much can I really contribute with my work in the world, with my energy practitioner self, with my writer self, with my speaking self. How can I add more light and more energy into this world and help shift us all into a new earth paradigm? And for me, that was what I based so much of my decision making on. So yeah, I love Ubud still. I go there quite frequently. Although I don't spend I don't spend that much time in the monkey forest, and I love it for dips in and out. But I love Canggu for the direction, for that more sharper focus for my business that complements my energy work really beautifully. I hope this helps. Please let me know in the comments below if this has sparked something for you, if there's any realizations that you have, if you live in either of the two or are looking to visit, or something else entirely. I would love to know what your thoughts are. Sending you so much love. Mwah. Bye.